WUSA 9 is the official television station of the Washington Commanders, and we are getting you ready for the Burgundy and Gold's kickoff against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with exclusive content you will only find right here. So building an NFL coaching staff is tough, and having everyone work together in harmony is even more difficult. But Dan Quinn has seemingly put this whole operation together, and it's running smoothly, so we hear. Our Chick Hernandez has more tonight from Ashburn.
The winds of change have arrived for the Washington Commanders in the person of Dan Quinn in his second stint as a head coach. 6 years in Atlanta, included a trip to the Super Bowl. 3 years as the DC in Dallas, and now, once again, leading the charge for the Burgundy and Gold. He admitted being an HC again took some adjusting in the preseason.
You know, the first game I was, kind of worried about, okay, who's in, who's out. In the preseason, there's so much subbing to who's in, to who's going out. And I was pretty intentional about going into like game 2 and 3 to make sure I was into that space of what I needed to do and knowing the clarity that I needed for Cliff and for Joe and for Larry. And so I really was intentional about that.
DQ has helped. He brought special teams coordinator Larry Izzo over from their days together in Seattle, along with a couple of guys who've been head coaches in the league, in Anthony Lynn and Cliff Kingsbury.
It's helped a lot, guys like Anthony and Cliff, because they've sat in the chair. And so that is a real advantage. And I asked for that kind of communication back from the staff. And so sometimes it takes a little while for someone to get there. And then you can say, man, I really appreciate that feedback.
Although telling a head coach and how you do it can be key.
Yeah, very lightly, I'll say that. Like, if it is the truth, it's kind of like we get to that point in some way. But no, you definitely have a different perspective after you've sat there and then are back. Being an assistant, you definitely want to be the best possible assistant you can be and want to keep things off his desk.
His staff knows him very well.
Let's not ever confuse DQ's being such a great person to not being very demanding. Also, he is a demanding coach. Also, he allows you to coach, okay? And some guys don't allow you to do what you do best, and he does. And so that's why I wanted to come here with him, because I knew that he was going to have a demanding hand, the culture that he was going to have for the guys. That's going to be great, but he demands us coaches to do our job and to do it at a very, very high level.
Good day, bad day. I mean, all he asks from his team and his staff is that you bring it every day, and you're going to have some moments where you don't do right and you make a mistake, and that's not where he goes off. It's just if he doesn't think you're giving him everything you got. And so that's been awesome to see. The way he treats people and the way he shows up at the office each and every day lifts that place up, and that's, to me, the greatest quality of a leader.
What is striking is, to a man and woman, they say Dan Quinn demands excellence from each and every person involved with the Washington Commanders. In Ashburn, Chick Hernandez, WUSA 9 Sports.